it to trial. Take it to trial. Welcome in, grab a seat, hit the like and subscribe. Cause Sweet Peas on the mic with that spicy little vibe. Got the courtroom streaming in the chat going wild. We're debating heavy topics but still laughing like a child. From objections to confessions to the judge's side eye. If it's justice and it's messy, we gon' talk about why. Every day's a new case, every moment's a ride. And when Sweet Peas in the building, we be learning with pride. Minds on deck, keep the room running smooth. Film freak therapist, you know, keeping everyone in the groove. Like to with the facts, pretty brown girl with the sass. Moreldia and Fowler keep the peace in the chat. But Jason walks in and the ladies collapse. Chocolate, take it to trial, where the truth gets loud and the laughs run wild. Sweet Peas got the spice, she's the queen of the aisle. Chat fam rolling deep, we've been here a while. Lights on, mics up, we gon' do this right. Take it to trial, every day, every night. Take it to trial. Morning shows are sharp, afternoon is on fire. And we catch every moment that the court might inspire. From witnesses whispering, the lawyers trying to hard. You know Sweet Pea breaks it down like a legal tarot card. Chats cracking jokes, dropping theories on the fly. We're serious when it counts, but we still testify. Minds hold it down when the trolls try to play. If you're out of line, court adjourned for the day. But when Jason logs in with that deep hello sound, the ladies in the chat, man, they all fall down. Take it, 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 take it to trial, where the truth gets loud and the laughs run wild. Sweet Peas got the spice, she's the queen of the aisle. Chat fam rolling deep, we've been here a while. Lights on, mics up, we gon' do this right. Take it to trial, every day, every night. Take it to trial. When the sun goes down and the cases get deep, after dark gets spicy, no secrets to keep. Taboo topics, big laugh, slap, happy crew. Sweet Pea says behave, but we never really do. It's opinions, confessions, stories untold, but we handle it with heart like the chat made a goal. Hey! Take it to trial, from day to night and every wild mile. Sweet Peas million strong with her trademark style, and the fam in the chat always makes it worthwhile. Turn it up, show some love, hit the like on sight. Take it to trial, yeah, we live tonight. Take it to trial, yeah, we live tonight. Take it to trial. Take it to trial. Take it to trial. Welcome in, grab a seat, hit the like and subscribe. Cause Sweet Peas on the mic with that spicy little vibe. Got the courtroom streaming in the chat going wild. We're debating heavy topics but still laughing like a child. From objections to confessions to the judge's side eye.
Estoy en la casa. Baila conmigo, San Diego to the chat. Órale, vámonos. From the surf in San Diego to the courtroom stream. SD walks in like she owns the scene. Pelo multicolor shining in the sun. She cracks one joke, chat laughing as one. She throws preguntas bien chidas, sharp like a blade. Cross exam queen, nunca tiene upgrade. And that dance so spicy. Cali mistakes close, she brings the fuego, everybody knows. Cuando Jason llega, ay caray, she flirts poquito. He just says hi, Sweet Pea laughs. Aquí vamos otra vez, SD drops the fuego and the chat says yes. She's fuego, fuego, lighting up the show. Tex-Mex in the chat, everybody knows. Con su risa, su vibra y su pelo tan cool, she turns a live stream to a cumbia at the pool. Fuego, fuego, SD's the queen. Spanglish magic en la chat screen. When she pops on camera, we all say que show. Latina sparkle with that California glow. Los mos la quieren, they hype her name. She adds flair y sabor to the game. ¿Qué onda, gente? And here comes the fun. El chat se enciende like under the sun. When she teases Jason, boy, behave. But without a chaos, this chat ain't the same. Bailalo, mija, with your Tex-Mex vibe. Bring the cumbia flow, keep it alive. Stay with the groove, don't ever stop. Shake up the stream till we're all on top. She's fuego, fuego. Let her run the show. Tex-Mex in the chat, everybody knows. Con su risa, su vibra y su pelo tan cool, she turns a live stream to a Latin dance floor. Boom. scream. Beach girl sparkle, courtroom delight. SD keeps the chat shining bright. Sweet pea on Mars, we all agree. Take it to trial, ain't the same without SD.
When the live stream flickers on and Sweet Pea takes a stand, Lynn is already there, coffee in hand. She settles in for the long trials, the twists and the turns, with a loyal heart and steady eyes that never miss a word. She's a constant in the courtroom, a familiar shining face, always ready for the arguments, the tension and the pace. And when the evidence is messy or the stories sound untrue, she leans forward just a little. Lynn knows what to do, 'cause Lynn thinks everyone is guilty, every suspect, every tale. Melody Ferris guilty, she says without fail, but Dr. Rachel shakes her head. Sure, the son is to blame, still Lynn stands firm, her verdict stays the same. Oh, she brings the truth with a calm, steady light, and her presence is a comfort on every trial night. She listens with devotion through each objection and plea, through the cross-exams and pauses. She's where she needs to be, in the sea of courtroom chaos where tempers sometimes flare. Lynn remains unshaken, a voice of reason there. And though the chat may chatter and the theories may divide, Lynn's perspective never wavers. She speaks with honest pride. She keeps the room grounded when emotions run loose, a quiet force reminding us she's here to find the truth. Yes, Lynn thinks everyone is guilty, that's just her way. From the first opening statement to the end of the day, Dr. Rachel can argue the son's the one at fault, but Lynn won't budge. She's rendered her final thought. We appreciate her always for her loyalty and her proof, 'cause the chat shines a little brighter when Lynn brings the truth.
Here comes Barbara in the chat, girl, she right on time. Sweet Pea got the trials rolling, Barbara dropping her lines. She's a mama to 2 boys, gives them love every day. Autism warriors in her own, and she leads the way. And her husband's been through storms, but she's holding him down. A caretaker with a halo and a medical crown. With that nursing background, baby, she knows the game. First aid on the timeline and receipts on the frame. She's looking for the missing kids like a mission from above. Heart, big feet moving, she's a justice power dove, and generous as heaven, giving spirit on display. Barbara lifts this whole community in her own special way. 'Cause Barbara don't pay. She's calling out lies in the courtroom hallway. She thinks P. Diddy's guilty as hell, okay? And she don't take crap from any man, no way. She's riding with Sweet Pea every single day, and take it to trial, she forever gon' stay. And when therapist, you know, starts acting up, Barbara busts his chops like, boy, that's enough. Yeah, she be laughing in the chat, cracking jokes left and right, keeping spirits lifted even in the darkest night. A supporter of the channel, honey, loyal and true. If Sweet Pea goes live, you know
heart, she helps the tribe survive. She's the kind of chatter every channel hopes for. A legend in the chat room, say no more, cause Barbara don't play. She's calling out lies in the courtroom hallway. She thinks P. Diddy's guilty as hell, okay? And she don't take crap from any man, no way. She's riding with Sweet P every single day. And take it to trial, she forever gon' stay. And when therapist, you know, starts acting up, Barbara busts his chops like, boy, that's enough. So here's to Barbara, our queen of the screen. A hero, a mama, a courtroom machine. For the missing, for justice, for family, she stands. And she gives with a heart bigger than the whole damn land. Take it to trial, loves you, girl. Now drop that gavel in your hands.
Okay, so I do have, just so everybody's aware, we are watching multiple things and we are keeping multiple eyes on the prize today. I'm gonna try to keep everybody informed and up to date. You know, that's kind of like how we do it over here at Take It to Trial. I thank everybody for kind of like hanging in here, and you know how we do it. We try to be in all the courtrooms all the time and catch whatever moments we can. So, of course, the hearing for Tina has not started just yet. I don't know how many of y'all seen this interview, but I am going to show us this interview. I am going to put on this interview that they had for the judge. So I am going to show her interview real quick while we wait. I don't know if this gives me any insight into what she's going to sentence this girl, but I might need somebody to hold my hand because I don't know. Like, if she gonna go light on Twerking Tina, I need her to go light on BB. And I know y'all don't like BB, and BB is guilty, but she guilty too. So Ryan's life matters. So let's see. I just happened to catch this last night.
Judge from the trial will be presiding over tomorrow's sentencing. Now, you may know her as the judge from the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial.
Well, this afternoon, she sat down with our Katie Lusso to talk about why she allowed cameras in the courtroom.
I think my resume, some people would just put, oh, was the judge in the Johnny Depp trial.
She presided over one of, if not the most closely watched televised trials in Fairfax County. But Judge Penny Oscarati says
it was not the most important case by far in my 18 years.
It was, however, the first time a trial was televised live, start to finish in Fairfax County. It drew in millions of viewers.
Are there any moments that stand out for you where you were like, oh my gosh, that did happen?
I never had on my bingo card to be a skit on SNL. I think that was a little over the top.
In January, she allowed cameras back into the courtroom to stream the Brendan Banfield murder trial live.
Really what I'm looking for is to keep the media circus and all the outside attention outside of the courtroom. And one of the best ways to do that is to have it be very transparent and have it televised.
But this is not a show.
I don't want to waste the jury's time anymore, or witnesses' time, or for that matter, my time.
You want to make sure everybody understands this is a courtroom, a court of law. We are here for a purpose.
How do you navigate the challenges of knowing so much is out there and also protecting the case?
It's very important to hone in with the jurors and focus on them, because that's the only issue with social media that you have to worry about is the jurors. But the orders are very clear.
She says she trusts the jurors because at the end of the day,
this is just not a sensational story. These are people's lives.
She says it's the work that she's done out of the spotlight that she's most proud of, especially the Veterans Treatment Docket. The program launched in 2013 and helps veterans address issues that led them into the justice system.
They went to war for our country, that they are having these issues, and it's really a duty of all of us to help them to heal.
She herself served in the Marines before going through law school.
That's just me pausing. Y'all see how different she looks? Wow. Look at her as a young judge, y'all. I don't know if y'all seen it. That's her as a young judge. That's her. She looked totally different with her black hair. Wow. But that's her.
system.
They went to war for our country, that they are having these issues, and it's really a duty of all of us to help them to heal.
She herself served in the Marines before going through law school, serving as a prosecutor, and going on to make history as the first female chief judge in Fairfax County.
As you can see from the photos, I look a little different than some of the past chief judges.
An honor she does not take lightly.
It's almost a responsibility of women judges or judges of color to go out and make sure that their voices are heard in the communities, so they can be that example for little girls or anybody that wants to really say, hey, there's somebody who looks like me, I can do that job.
After 18 years on the bench, she'll retire in July.
Leadership means knowing when it's time to pass the baton on, so you can have new voices and new perspectives come to the bench.
When people hear your name,
yes,
how do you want them to think of you and remember you?
Knowing that they've come to my court, I wanted them to be prepared and be professional, but also that I was just fair, that I pushed the judiciary on in a positive way a little further down the road.
Tomorrow morning, Judge Ascarati will decide Juliana Peres Magalhães' fate. Sentencing is set to begin at 11:30, and the outcome could have lasting consequences.
When Sweet Pea taps in, the courtroom lights go bright. Trials running long, but the family's here every night. Mars on patrol, chatter showing out. This little YouTube corner's what community's about. Therapist steady holding down the floor. Behind the scenes magician, keeping peace like never before. A banner king, a rule keeper too. Every channel dreams of a mind like you. Jason walks in and the ladies lose control. Down to earth king with the warmest soul. Film freaks, kindness, man, it's always on display. Fair and sweet and cheering folks along the way. And Marilia from SA keeps the laughter rolling free. Joking, shining, keeping spirits where they need to be. We're a family in the chat, side by side through every trial. Sweet Pea leads the way with that fire and that smile. We debate, we laugh, we lift each other higher. This Courtroom crew is everything we admire. Yeah, no matter what the case or file, we're forever taking to trial. Take it to trial. Pretty brown girl, she'll tell you what's true. Sharp as a gavel, funniest in the room. Dr. Rachel pops in while she's busy running lines. Speaks her mind every time, cuts through like a knife. And Fowler brings the energy, jokes flying fast. Helping Sweet Pea backstage, making every stream last. Then Zach's trolling, causing chaos just for fun. The resident cheater, but we love him, everyone. Here comes Maddie, handsome, quick with the line. A comedy sniper with the perfect timing. And Lynn with the updates, always loyal, always tuned. If true crime news drops, he brings it to the room. We're a family in the chat, side by side through every trial. Sweet Pea leads the way with that fire and that smile. We debate, we laugh, we lift each other higher. This Courtroom crew is everything we admire. Yeah, no matter what the case or file, we're forever taking to trial. Take it to trial. Shamrock keeps us trending, replay queen. Holding down the algorithm like a machine. courtroom fog. In Brooklyn in the house, always bringing that spark. Lighting up the chat like a shout in the dark. Buckle loves her grand, speaks truth when it's time. Micrograms with metaphors straight up sublime. Barbara biggest supporter, heart kind and vast. Looking for missing kids, hope to truly last. Only fan from Singapore, flag name but sweet. Still shows up with love every time he takes a seat. And even the part-timers keep this place alive. Curvy Hill, Irish Amy, Capri Law, Hellcat, our tribe. Hearts wide open, stories shared, holding space because we care. From every corner of the world we climb to spend these nights together, one trial at a time. We're a family in the chat, side by side through every trial. Sweet Pea leads the way with that fire and that smile. Mods and shadows, yeah, this love is something rare. A courtroom crew with hearts beyond compare. No matter what the case or file, we're forever taken to trial. To Sweet Pea and the mods in the chat we adore. This isn't just a channel, it's a family. And we couldn't ask for more. It's after dark, where the filters fall, where we talk about the things you don't say at all. Sweet Peas in the chair saying, tell it how it is. We unpack real life, not just courtroom biz. It's opinions, confessions, messy and true. Real talk, real laughs, and a grown-up view. Not gossip, not drama, it's truth with style. You can plead the fifth, but we'll still see you smile. We don't tiptoe around the hard conversation. Oh, oh, oh. We break it down with truth and speculation. Hey, therapy, law, comedy, insight. That's what trial talk sounds like at night. Take it to trial after dark, where the real ones speak and the truth hits hard. No scripts, no filters, no playing polite. We say what we think after day turns to night. Turn up the talk, let opinions ignite. Take it to trial. After dark tonight. Film freaks got receipts in the hidden scenes. TYK breaks it down like a therapy machine. Rachel keeps the facts sharp, logical, tight. Pretty brown girls got the clapbacks on sight. Fowler keeps the peace, well she tries at least. Morelia drops gems when the topics get deep. And Jason walks in with that wise guy grin. And the chat yells, here comes the chaos again. Not late night drama, late night perspective. Big brain debates that get introspected. It's real, it's bold, it's thought and fire. And it hits different when the lights get quieter. Take it to trial after dark, where the real ones speak and the truth hits hard. No scripts, no filters, no playing polite. We say what we think after day turns to night. Turn up the talk, let opinions ignite. Take it to trial after dark tonight. Oh, 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 oh.
The Honorable Juliana presiding. Please be seated and come to order. Okay. Let me just, do you want to do the quick matter on the Banfield case?
Judge, did you want to do that before or after?
Yeah, let's just do that right now. All right, because Mr. Carroll, I think, is here. Mr. Carroll, if you want to come forward, just on the case of Commonwealth versus Brendan Banfield, Mr. Banfield's presence has been waived. Mr. Carroll is present, Commonwealth is present. This comes on your Commonwealth's motion to seal 2 of the defense exhibits, correct?
Judge, yes, 2 exhibits, and we're actually going to orally add 2 more. We have been approached by Mr. Phillips, representing Inova Hospital, and a member of the public about another case that includes, another exhibit that includes personal information. So the exhibits, the defense exhibits we would ask to seal are 120,
right,
121,
okay,
122, and 123.
Right, and that has protected patent information, is that correct?
Protected health information or protected personal information.
Okay, all right, okay, so I got you. All right, any objections?
No objection, Judge.
All right, we'll go ahead and seal those for, I assume there's many patient information in there, is that what it is?
There, yes.
Okay, so 120, 121, 122, and 123, correct?
Yes.
All right, I'll grant your motion. That's fine. Thank you, Mr. Carroll.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. All right, Commonwealth versus Magalhães.
Morning, Ryan Campbell, President.
Good morning, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you.
All right, the case of Commonwealth of Virginia versus Juliana Peres Magalhães. Ms. Perez Magalhães is present in the courtroom with her attorney. The Commonwealth is present, comes today for sentencing. Are we ready to go forward today, Mr. Campbell?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, have you reviewed the pre-sentence investigation report with your client?
We did, Your Honor. No changes, additions, or corrections.
All right, does the Commonwealth have any?
No changes, additions, or corrections.
All right, I'll make the pre-sentence investigation report part of the record. The Commonwealth, as far as evidence, I do have, victim impact statements that I have already reviewed. Is there any objection to those victim impact statements?
Your Honor, my position, I talked to the Commonwealth, is that some of them fall outside the definition under.
Okay, which
the code.
ones? Are you objecting to certain ones or are you not?
Your Honor, the specific ones are the ones that relate to Christine Banfield, so the
Okay.
family members of Christine.
So you object to those with victim impact statements?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And Judge, what I would say to that is that certainly the statement of facts that we presented, and that is included in the pre-sentence report, includes information about also the murder of Christine Banfield. I understand that this charge itself reflects the killing and the murder of Joseph Ryan. However, I do think that the voices of Christine Banfield's family are important in this hearing as well.
I understand, but he's only been charged with the murder. I mean, she's only been charged with the murder of Joseph Ryan. So the only victim impact statements the court can consider are the ones based on which the Commonwealth has charged her with. So I can only take into consideration the victim impact statements from Joseph Ryan's family.
Understood,
Okay,
Your Honor.
so I'll do that and I'll grant your motion. Okay. All right. Do you have any other evidence?
Judge, I do, in light of the court's ruling, I'm going to have two witnesses to
Okay.
call. The first of which is going to be Deirdre Fisher.
Okay, Deirdre Fisher.
She is appearing via Teams.
All right. Okay, ma'am, if you could just raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth under penalty of law?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning, Ms. Fisher.
Good morning.
Could you please state your name for the court?
My name is Deirdre Maureen Fisher.
And can you tell the court your relationship to Joe Ryan?
Joseph Ryan is my son.
And can you tell the court of any psychological injury that you have received resulting from this offense, or any changes to your personal welfare, lifestyle, or relationships resulting from this offense?
Is this outside of the statement that I
No, ma'am.
am going to read?
You go ahead and read your statement.
Oh, so I read it now?
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Honorable Judge Penny S. Ascaretti, for giving me the opportunity to talk about the impact of the murder of my son, Joseph Nathan Ryan. My baby boy was born 2 days before Christmas, making that our special holiday. His middle name was Nathan, which means gift. Since Joe's murder, I haven't been able to take down my little Christmas tree, which sits behind the urn with his ashes. I say good morning to him each day when I turn on the tree's lights. But of course, that's not Joe sitting there. He can't say, I love you back. When Joe was taken from me cruelly and callously, murdered by Juliana and Brendan on February 24th, 2023, I lost so very much, more than I can possibly name. I lost my confidant, someone who knew me deeply, listened without judgment, offered advice with my best interests at heart. I lost my biggest ally and my cheerleader. That empathetic voice saying, "Mom, you got this. Mom, you should be kinder to yourself." I lost my rock and protector, the person who flew down repeatedly to take care of me when I had cancer. I lost the comfort of knowing that my son would be there to care for me when I'm an old woman with illness or dementia, just as he cared for his grandmother and grandfather. I lost my financial sustainability due to grief's torturous effect on my health, both physically and mentally, which has affected my ability to work and function. I lost my peace and sense of well-being. I can never unhear Joe's moans and cries after he was shot, the cries of a dying man. I can never unsee the image of his lifeless, bloody hand from the trial images. I lost nearly all my friends who couldn't handle dealing with someone lost in grief or understand why my life can't just go on. I lost the chance to ever be called grandma. I will never have that. I lost the sound of Joe calling me the most beautiful word in the world, Mom. I lost my Christmas baby, Joseph Nathan, my greatest gift. The impact of Joe's loss doesn't go away. Will never go away, but only grow. So many tears, so many times reaching for the phone to call him, only to remember that he won't and can't pick up. So many times hearing the phone ring and wishing it was him, calling me out of the blue about something happening in the world or in his life. So many empty Christmases and so many birthdays without him singing to me in his awful yet beautiful voice, tone deaf. So many moments of trying to remember the exact sound of his laughter and fearing that someday I won't. So many sleepless nights, so many nightmares of his brutal murder and fear, confusion, and of the pain he must have felt. So many screams and guttural cries into my pillow, feeling the loss of my son. So many moments of reading horrible things online, lies told about who Joe wasn't. So many moments defending and explaining who my son was and why he couldn't have committed the murder of Christine Banfield. God rest her soul. So many conversations with others, draining them and me of a chance to make happier memories together. So many stomach aches. So many doctor's appointments, hospital bills, feelings of shame about my health. So many times wishing I could tell Joe about another milestone in my weight loss journey, seeking better health, knowing how encouraging and proud he would be. So many lost moments, so many moments of loss. My son's life was used and thrown away, seen as worthless and utterly disposable. Disposal by those who plotted and executed his brutal murder. Do I think or dare hope that there will be justice for Joe's death? For my loss as his mother? I don't believe that's possible. What I do hope is that even for a moment, that the world and you, Judge, will say Joe meant more than nothing, that he was someone worthy of dignity and life, who didn't deserve to be used and thrown away, treated as utterly disposable. Thank you for listening and for weighing the trail of pain and loss Juliana left in the wake of her calculated, cold-blooded murder, with her life and future as her only concern. My son, Joseph Nathan Ryan, was not and is not disposable. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Fisher. Please answer any questions that Mr. Campbell may have.
All right, cross-examination? No cross-examination. Okay, thank you, Ms. Fisher.
Thank you.
All right, your next witness?
Judge, the next witness that I have is going to be Ms. Sangeeta Ryan, who is present in court.
Okay, Ms. Ryan?
Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this case under penalty of law? Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you please state your name for the court?
Sangeeta Ryan.
And can you describe your relationship to Joe Ryan?
Is this where I read my statement? Who I met, Joey Nathan Ryan, was my nephew. And Honorable Judge Ascarati, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak today. Thank you for allowing the Ryan family to speak up for our Joey Nathan Ryan. We thank the jury for helping us achieve justice for Joe and Christine. And we thank the Fairfax County Police Department, the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, and all that helped, and we are grateful for justice. So our family has remained silent since the devastating loss out of grief, but also out of respect for the justice system. For us, Joe did not just die on February 23rd, 23. He was murdered over and over again, every time lies were spoken, every time his picture was posted alongside salacious stories told by two wolves in sheep's clothing who perpetrated this crime and attempted to destroy the memory of two remarkable people. Julia and her boss/lover intended to snuff out the life of two innocent victims who deserve to live full and meaningful lives of their own. Well, while we acknowledge the defendant for eventually coming forward with the truth, telling the truth doesn't absolve her of responsibility. Honesty is something we're taught at a young age. Telling the truth doesn't erase the harm. It simply allows others to move forward. It doesn't bring Joe back, and it sure doesn't bring Christine back. Hearing the truth has finally allowed us to exhale. It validated to the world what we already knew, that Joe is not the monster he was portrayed to be. Rather, Joe is an elder brother, a brand new uncle, the eldest cousin and confidant to four. He is my beloved nephew and a son and grandson to his loving family. Pardon me 1 second. We acknowledge that Juliana was a young woman in a foreign country, in love with her employer in a situation where the power imbalance was not in her favor. But where our compassion ends is with the one other responsibility. Juliana was entrusted with and received payment for the care and protection of a small, innocent child. And Juliana, I feel, failed Valerie repeatedly. She was trusted to protect this young charge, but instead chose to cause irreparable damage. She robbed her of her mother. She stole childhood memories. She chose to partner in the brutal assassination of her mother's character, as well as her beautiful being. The defendant and her boss/boyfriend convinced Valerie that a stranger broke into her home and killed her mother, when in fact the monsters were the very people who cared for her after the loss. Julia and her boss worked to erase her mother's existence and credibility and place the blame on an innocent man. Our hearts go out to all of Christine and Valerie's family. What an absolutely incredible person she must have been. But may I tell you about Joe? Joe is loved. Joe came to live with the Ryan family. I'm so sorry.
Take your time.
Joe came to live with the Ryan family just days after his birth. His birth parents, Dad, Sean, and Deirdre, who you met, were teenagers, so Joe lived with and was raised by his paternal grandparents, Connie and Jim, for all of his life. As a young child, Joe, who we call Joey, was fun-loving and loved from the beginning. He was inquisitive, curious, smart, charming, and so dang talkative. Joe approached strangers and passerbyers with random and nerdy questions about Transformers and movie characters and the Legend of Zelda video game characters and who would win in a battle between this person and this person, and he respectfully waited the answers, whether you knew them or not. As he grew into adulthood, Joe's hobbies included building or painting anything that used his fine motor skills. He loved martial arts. He had a great love and respect for our environment, animals, especially mistreated, neglected, and ugly dogs. And he rescued many injured and less loved dogs, bringing them across the country in his travels safely home to the home he shared with his grandmother. Joe cared for people, he cared for animals, and Joe didn't hurt people. When Joe's grandfather, Pap, required care due to a debilitating stroke, Joe left his life in Virginia and moved to Florida to serve as the full-time caregiver to his grandfather, the grandfather that supported him from infancy. When Pap developed dementia and had to move into a memory care facility, then Joe moved back to Virginia, where he began to take care of his grandmother, who had begun to experience health problems of her own. Joe took over transportation for medical appointments, hospital procedures, food shopping, and the bond between Connie and her grandson was as close as that of a mother and child. Joe would never have put himself in a dangerous situation that would risk his ability to continue to take care of his beloved grandmother or his old ugly dog, Kitty. I'm sorry, she's not ugly. When Joe didn't come home, Joe's grandmother, Connie, lost the gentle man that she and Pap raised as their fourth son. Joe's sudden murder devastated his grandma, who at 81 who was 81 and devastated her so much she could no longer live in the family home without Joe, and quietly and quickly sold her home to dodge memories, grief, and reporters to move closer to my husband and me. My husband is Joe's Uncle Jimmy, and I'm his Aunt Gita. In Joe's absence, my husband and I made the decision to leave our careers and to take over as grandma's support and care team. We continue to do that today, and we think about and talk about Joe every single day. Honorable Judge Asgarati, we feel Joe and Christine were targeted by the worst kind of monsters, the kind who live among the victims and wait until they're the most vulnerable. We feel as a woman, a caretaker, and as a daughter, Juliana had opportunity to stop this brutal assassination. We think she could have warned Christine. We think she could have warned Joe that morning. This could have been a very different ending where Juliana saved 2 lives, but that's not. At least she should have done the job for which she was being paid, to protect a child. She did not. So many opportunities to do the right thing, and Juliana over and over chose not to. And while we acknowledge that she found the strength to tell the truth, it doesn't absolve the responsibility. So today we leave here finally standing as Joe's family. This nightmare's ending. It's our hope that Juliana doesn't walk free, but continues to reflect on how she became capable of doing this, so that when she does return to Brazil, she never victimizes another person, never betrays another child in her care, and never again places selfish desire above human life. She doesn't deserve to profit. We hope that can be enforced. The reality is, though, she will be free one day, and our hope is that she carries the weight of the lives destroyed, that Juliana chooses to live as a decent person, and that she is truly remorseful. The sentence that Juliana receives today is not the only one given. We all carry a life sentence of grief, even after hers ends. We ask for peace. We ask to be allowed to move forward. Today we move forward by returning Joe's kindness to the world. We say his name proudly. We invite the world to finally know the man we protected in silence for so long. He is loved. We miss Joe, and our family is devastated by the way he was ripped from our lives. Joe won't complete painting his unfinished Warhammer 3D figurines. He won't compete in any more live-action role-playing battles with silly, hand-created foam weapons, nor his mixed martial arts or video game battles. He'll no longer bore us with lectures about eating organic food over junk food, but it's with our hearts we thank you, Honorable Judge, and the jury that was here, members of the court, the police, the detective, the prosecution team, the victims team, and all the witnesses who supported justice for Joe. Thank you so much for listening.
Please answer any questions that Mr. Campbell might have.
Any cross-examination?
No questions.
All right, no questions. All right, you can.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Ryan.
Judge, I don't have any further evidence, but I do want to acknowledge to the court that the family of Christine Banfield is here today. You can see them to your honor's right.
All right. Thank you. Thank you,
Along
ma'am.
with Joe's family.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Commonwealth rest for evidence. For the defense residents, I do have for your evidence the memorandum of support of sentencing, which I have reviewed. In addition, 3 letters that you have provided
Yes, Your
as
Honor.
well. I reviewed those as well.
Your Honor, I'm going to hand up a few certificates that Mr. President. They can just be made part of the record there.
Okay. Are
And
these
no
okay
further
to be,
evidence.
can be part of the file, or do you need copies? We can make copies of them if you'd like.
That'd be fine, Your Honor.
Okay,
Thank
we'll
you.
make copies. All right, let me just review them, please. All right, we'll go ahead and make copies of these certificates and make them part of the record as well. All right, any other evidence from the defense?
No further evidence. Your
All right, argument?
Judge, the Commonwealth in this case, as the court is aware, made a recommendation, and the Commonwealth stands by that recommendation.
All right, argument, Mr. Campbell?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the 2 witnesses that you heard from today made it clear that hearing the truth was valuable to them, to the Ryan family, and it was the truth that Juliana spoke at trial. And ultimately, it was her testimony that likely resulted in the conviction of Brendan Banfield. Until her cooperation, the Commonwealth had only a theory. They had circumstantial evidence, but no direct evidence. When Juliana finally came forward, she offered that direct evidence of what crimes she'd been involved in and what crimes were committed by Brendan Banfield. Your Honor, our position is that justice requires that the court follow the joint recommendation of the parties. Justice requires it because it was an arm's length agreement made by an experienced prosecution team with the approval of the head of the office, with the knowledge of all the facts and circumstances of the case, not just the facts of the case, but issues that would be presented at trial, the presentation of evidence and witnesses, sentencing guidelines, and many other factors that the parties consider beyond what the court might realize. Justice requires it because Joseph Ryan and Christine Banfield and their families deserve justice. By accepting responsibility in this case and cooperating, we avoided 2 trials. We assured the finality of the decision in this case, and we gave the jury and the Commonwealth and the court confidence that Brendan Banfield would be convicted, as he ultimately was. Justice requires following the agreement because every individual that makes...
Following the recommendation.
Recommendation, yes,
Thank
Your Honor. And I addressed that in my memo, of course.
Yes.
Every individual that makes a difficult decision to cooperate does so with the belief that the recommendation would be followed or at least considered by the court. The Commonwealth, the courts, and prosecutors in courts everywhere in the country rely on cooperating witnesses to do what Juliana has done in this case, which is to speak to the truth and offer direct evidence of crimes, including those cooperating witnesses that they themselves have committed serious offenses. When a prosecutor makes a promise, the court ought to give it serious weight. Your Honor, I'll say I'm disappointed but not surprised that the Commonwealth didn't advocate today for the recommendation. I have deep respect for Ms. Bristler and Ms. Sands and the prosecution team. I suspect that this is frankly because of public sentiment regarding the agreement that they made.
Recommendation.
I'm going to continue to make that
I
mistake.
understand.
Your Honor, I just want to touch on a few things that I've just reviewed.
Yes, yes.
Your Honor, the importance of the cooperation. Ms. Sands did communicate to me that she interviewed the foreman of the jury, who said 3 things to them, 3 things that Ms. Sands relayed to me, that they believed Juliana Peres Magalhães, that her testimony was integral. That was the word that Ms. Sands used. In other words, central to their decision to convict Brendan Banfield. And third, that they didn't believe Brendan Banfield. Your Honor, that is important for the court to consider because, again, up until her testimony, which was presented first in the Commonwealth series of witnesses, the Commonwealth had only a theory. The Commonwealth had circumstantial evidence, forensic evidence, electronic forensic evidence, digital forensic evidence, and others. But it was Juliana who ultimately told the story firsthand of what occurred. Because that decision was integral in the jury's decision, I think it could be said, and of course the court presided over the entire trial, you can determine her credibility yourself, but the jury certainly found it integral to their decision. And for that reason, the Commonwealth's recommendation, the joint recommendation, should be given heavy consideration by the court in this case. Your Honor, I briefly want to just touch on the delay in cooperating. It was evident to the defense that from Juliana's first date of arrest that they wanted her cooperation desperately. Her cooperation didn't come quickly. And our position is that at that time, she was still under the grip of Brendan Banfield, and the plan that he had convinced her would work. She still believed that there wouldn't be sufficient evidence for a conviction, and she was relying on Brendan's plan to get her through her arrest and prosecution. As she languished in jail, discovery dripped in. We really didn't receive significant discovery until after the preliminary hearing in this case. And even leading up to the trial date, we still hadn't received much of the digital forensic evidence that was made central to Brendan Banfield's case. Your Honor, the tipping point was perhaps the arrest of Brendan Banfield. That broke his grip on Juliana. The communications between Brendan and Juliana ceased. There were no further assurances that things would be okay for her, that they would have a life together afterwards. She was left alone, truly alone. No communications from his mother or family or other people, and no ability for her to actually contact her own family. She was left alone upon Brendan's arrest, and that was a huge factor in her coming forward. Your Honor, when she did come forward, we moved rapidly. We had a lengthy debrief followed by a plea within a day or two of that debrief. The next several months resulted in continued debriefings. We were available at every request of the Commonwealth. She continued to be candid and open with her statements, and I haven't heard any issues with her reluctance to answer questions in those debrief sessions. Your Honor, if she hadn't testified, there's a good chance that Brendan wouldn't have been convicted. First, the Commonwealth believed her. Secondly, Brendan chose to testify himself. I doubt he would have done that without her testimony. He chose to directly challenge her statement of offense of her account of what occurred, and he was caught in his own lies. Beginning with shortly after cross-examination, the question of whether he loved her or not, and him saying, well, I didn't really love her. There were certain things that were in the way. And finally ending with his testimony about an important meeting that he was going to. Upon reviewing that testimony, his boss came forward and testified the next day that there was no meeting. Brendan's lies ultimately resulted in his conviction, but he might not have testified if Juliana hadn't testified. Your Honor, I appreciate the comments of Joseph Ryan's family, and I've read the letters that were filed by Christine's family, and there's no words I can offer to console them at this time. But it is critical that there was no trial in this case, that there is finality for the families, and that there was cooperation by Juliana that resulted in Brendan's conviction. Your Honor, the last thing I want to comment on is the agreement in this case, the recommendation.
Thank you.
I had hoped the language of the plea agreement says that the Commonwealth recommends. It doesn't say they have to get up and advocate or pound their fist and argue to what extent the cooperation was important. But the court can weigh that yourself. It was critical. Her cooperation and testimony was critical to the outcome of Brendan Banfield's case. This was an agreement for a recommendation that was made with full knowledge of what the facts were of the case and what public sentiment might be regarding the agreement for Juliana in this case. The agreement was made anyway.
Recommendation.
Thank
you.
The recommendation was made with the input of all the victims, of the police department, and all the important people as required by law. And there was no pushback at that time, Your Honor. I have a position in my sentencing memo whether this is an agreement or a recommendation under A1, A, or C. I'll maintain that argument, Your Honor. I ask that the court follow the joint recommendation of the parties and impose an active sentence of no more than time served in this case.
All right, thank you, Mr. Campbell. All right, Ms. Perez Magalhães, if you could stand up, please. If you could stand up, Ms. Perez Magalhães. Is there anything you wish to say at this time before sentence is imposed?
Yeah, I would like to read a statement. I have caused your pain that cannot be measured and forever changed so many lives. I pray for forgiveness from the Benson family and from Joseph Ryan's family and from Valerie. I will never forgive myself for the pain caused. I hope that my cooperation in this case somehow begin to help repair the damage caused. There is nothing I could possibly do to make it up to you, to your loss. Sorry. There are so many regrets, but this is my biggest. That's it. That's a tragedy I have been carrying with me, and I will always do. It's something I have nightmares with. A tragedy I know I can never take back the devastation of what I have done. I know that my remorse cannot bring you peace. I hope you might someday understand that I truly do not believe that his plan would have actually happened. I have grown so much over the past 3 years. I look back at my younger self at 22 years old, falling head over heels for someone 15 years older. They only see his good side and clinging to someone that showed me love. I lost myself in a relationship, leaving my morals and values behind, and putting even my loved ones through this. My time in jail has been a time of reflection for me to better myself in more ways than I realized I needed. I had to find myself again. That's when I truly found God, when I had lost the desire to live, when I wanted to die. The guilt and feelings that I didn't deserve to live and that I was a monster were overwhelming. In God, I found the forgiveness and mercy, and I am restored. Jail is not a place you can bear to let yourself drown in those feelings. I wanted to disconnect from my pain and the guilt and get into survival mode to stay mentally sane, because inevitably, with memories come pain. Yet, I know I will live with this for the rest of my life. God and I only know the shame and guilt and sorrow I carry for all I have caused. Sorry for Joe's family and Christine's family. Sorry for Valerie, an innocent little girl who has so much love that will grow without her mother and our father. This is a heavy burden to carry, knowing it could have prevented it all from happening. I understand that I am to blame, and I'm truly sorry for the pain it caused. I hope someday I can be forgiven, as I hope to be able to forgive myself. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right. In this matter, the court does find that the manslaughter charge was the large benefit of your bargain for testifying, which was a huge bargain and a plea deal. You could have been facing life plus 3 years, and now the maximum I can sentence you to today is 10 years. That's clearly a trade for your cooperation with the Commonwealth and what the Commonwealth offered. And you accepted that along with the Commonwealth's recommendation for time served, which is not an agreement, and as you know, not binding on the court, as we discussed at length at your plea. The reduction of the charge is a mitigation. I have watched your interviews and I watched you testify, and I just cannot find any further mitigation factors for your case. You may not have come up with a plan, agreed, and an older man may have groomed you to a point, but I want to list for the record the facts that I cannot equate with accepting a time served recommendation. These are aggravating factors either not fully captured or not reflected in the sentencing guidelines. Number one, until today, you have shown no empathy for the victim in this case. Number two, you were more involved with the plan than you testified to. First off, there were numerous postings on social media platforms and text platforms looking for a target, texting and speaking directly with Joseph Ryan, encouraging him to bring the knife, and ultimately through the phone conversation, getting his consent, knowing all along you were bringing him to his death. Lying to Christine and setting up the plan for the zoo, using her devices and hiding her phone, using a child as a pawn in your plan, waiting outside for Joseph to show up, calling Mr. Banfield to bring him to the scene, and at any point for at least the month prior or that day, you could have stopped this. The plan did not work without your full involvement. Number three, having the loaded firearm in your pocket. Number four, bringing a child into the basement knowing two people were about to be murdered, to include the child's mother. Number five, hearing Christine ask you to call 911, which you did and then immediately hung up. Number six, seeing Joseph Bryan, who was shot in the head at that time, still moving and walking up to him as he lay moaning on the floor and shooting him point blank in the heart. Number seven, watching as Mr. Banfield stabbed Christine over and over again. Number eight, waiting 15 minutes before recalling 911. Number nine, telling a fabricated story for over a year and a half, a story that depicted Joseph Ryan wrongly as a rapist and a murderer, an innocent man. And number 10, telling the child it was okay to call you mommy hours after the murder. Your actions were deliberate, self-serving, and demonstrated a profound disregard for human life. So let's get it straight. You do not deserve anything other than incarceration and a life of reflection on what you have done to the victim and this family. May it weigh heavily on your soul. So today I'm sentencing you on a manslaughter charge because that's what's before me. And the facts of this case demonstrate an intentional and calculated level of violence that is the most serious manslaughter scenario that this court has ever seen. Therefore, I do sentence you to 10 years in the penitentiary, as required by Virginia Code 19.2, 295.2. After you've completed your 10-year sentence, I will order an additional 2 years suspended, and you will be placed on probation pursuant to Virginia Code 19.2, 303. Since you have been convicted of a felony in Virginia, a sample of your DNA will also be drawn from the state police database. Are there any questions, Mr. Campbell? All right, anything further in this case? No, ma'am. Okay. All right, you're mandated to the custody of the sheriff. I believe that completes the docket. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay. Court will be in recess. All rise. Court's in recess.
I guess I'll be able to sleep tonight since she got her max deal. Oh, I'm so glad I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. I want to listen to the judge again, y'all. Sorry. Y'all listen to her again. Okay. Y'all can talk about max.
Cross-examine and argue.
At this time before
I would have argued y'all.
This was an agreement for a record.
Because
they understand perfection for me. I want God and I want.
I think that what happened in this case.
Now the
no, you could have.
The state came back and felt some different kind of way because people were accusing the state of giving a sweetheart deal. And I remember after the verdict was read in Brandon Banfield's case, they came back like, oh, this was not a sweetheart deal. This was blah, blah, blah. This wasn't that type of deal. So I think that this is the other reason why the judge came in and stepped in and did what she did. Because she probably realized that it was a sweetheart deal. Let's listen to the judge again. Just so y'all do know, those that are watching the Edric Falls trial, they are showing the charge conference. It is currently going on. So once we get finished here, you are more than welcome to hang out with us as we wait for the closing arguments. But right now they are showing the charge conference. They did come back and start that process. Yeah, twerking Tina back there. That's twerking Tina. Oh man. Okay, let's go back into this. I want to hear it again. I'll play it again and then we'll move on.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right. In this matter, the court does find that the manslaughter charge was a large benefit of your bargain for testifying, which was a huge bargain in a plea deal. You could have been facing life plus 3 years, and now the maximum I can sentence you to today is 10 years. That's clearly a trade for your cooperation with the Commonwealth and what the Commonwealth offered. And you accepted that along with the Commonwealth's recommendation for time served, which is not an agreement, and as you know, not binding on the court, as we discussed at length at your plea. The reduction of the charge is a mitigation. I have watched your interviews and I watched you testify, and I just cannot find any further mitigation factors for your case. You may not have come up with a plan, agreed, and an older man may have groomed you to a point, but I want to list for the record the facts that I cannot equate with accepting a time served recommendation. These are aggravating factors either not fully captured or not reflected in the sentencing guidelines. Number one, until today, you have shown no empathy for the victim in this case. Number two, you were more involved with the plan than you testified to. First off, there were numerous postings on social media platforms and text platforms looking for a target, texting and speaking directly with Joseph Ryan, encouraging him to bring the knife, and ultimately through the phone conversation, getting his consent, knowing all along you were bringing him to his death. Lying to Christine and setting up the plan for the zoo, using her devices and hiding her phone, using a child as a pawn in your plan, waiting outside for Joseph to show up, calling Mr. Banfield to bring him to the scene, and at any point for at least the month prior or that day, you could have stopped this. The plan did not work without your full involvement.
Number 3, having the loaded firearm in your pocket. Number 4, bringing a child into the basement knowing 2 people were about to be murdered, to include the child's mother. Number 5, hearing Christine ask you to call 911, which you did and then immediately hung up. Number 6, seeing Joseph Bryan, who was shot in the head at that time, still moving and walking up to him as he lay moaning on the floor and shooting him point blank in the heart. Number 7, watching as Mr. Banfield stabbed Christine over and over again. Number 8, waiting 15 minutes before recalling 911. Number 9, telling a fabricated story for over a year and a half, a story that depicted Joseph Ryan wrongly as a rapist and a murderer, an innocent man. And number 10, telling the child it was okay to call you mommy hours after the murder. Your actions were deliberate, self-serving, and demonstrated a profound disregard for human life. So let's get it straight. You do not deserve anything other than incarceration and a life of reflection on what you have done to the victim and this family. May it weigh heavily on your soul. So today I'm sentencing you on a manslaughter charge because that's what's before me. And the facts of this case demonstrate an intentional and calculated level of violence that is the most serious manslaughter scenario that this court has ever seen. Therefore, I do sentence you to 10 years in the penitentiary, as required by Virginia Code 19.2, 295.2. After you've completed your 10-year sentence, I will order an additional 2 years suspended, and you will be placed on probation pursuant to Virginia Code 19.2, 303. Since you have been convicted of a felony in Virginia, a sample of your DNA will also be drawn from the state police database. Are there any questions, Mr. Campbell? All right, anything further in this case? No, ma'am. Okay. All right, you're remanded to the custody of the sheriff. I believe that completes the docket. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay. Court will be in recess. All rise.
Thank goodness. Oh, thank you, Judge. Because I was going to have some restless nights. Like, I don't know. I got one guy over here in Georgia. They done planted his DNA after 23 years. And then we got an old girl here. She can do a whole unaliving and she can get time served. The possibility of time served. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad everything worked out the way it worked out because I was going to have some real issues. She got it all. She got it all. She got it all. Here's the room for Mr. Foss's case. If anybody wants to go over and they are looking forward to, she got the max. She got the max. The max. And she needed more. She should have got 10 additional years, but she didn't. Can you see if Bald, who is that? I'm not sure who that is. Yeah, she got the max. Yeah, I ain't thinking about her probation. That ain't meaning nothing to me. Not no probation. I wanted her to also say that she couldn't profit, but she didn't. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means she can profit or not profit, but I don't want her to profit off of it, but who knows?
Story firsthand of what occurred. Because that decision was integral.
Let's see here. Let me see if see if I see anything about any press conferences. I don't see anything. Yeah. So here is the thing. I see the narrow clock. Yeah, thanks, Michelle. It's at 4 hours and 10 minutes. Here is for the charge conference. I want to close down this room. We have sentencing. And then we got Brandon BB. He'll come up in a couple. I can't remember what day his is, but it'll be before our judge retire. So I'm assuming he's going to get the max, which is definitely deserving. Yeah, you would think. You would think that would be the way it would go. We'll see. So here you guys go. And I will see you guys over in that room. Thanks if you just came over for this trial. We are currently watching the Georgia versus Edric Foss trial in another room where I put the link. Very, very, I don't know if he's going to be guilty or not guilty. Hopefully not guilty. I don't think the state has proven their case. We are also watching Wife in the Tank redrum trial that we'll get into later today. So for any of you guys that are trial watchers or been into these trials, definitely join us for any of these trials that are currently going on or any future trials. Here we go. I was trying to see if I seen any pressers. I didn't see any pressers. Not to say that there won't be pressers, but I don't see any pressers right now, guys. Just so you guys are aware. I don't see any. Oh, she accepted a plea deal. Got a lot of things going on today. Jury been out 4 hours, 13 minutes. For Paul Canero. Oh, you know what else? What other channel? I think it's channel 11. Let me see if they have anything. Because I think they were handling a lot of the pressers. Yeah, I just checked channel 11, which is the local news reporter. They don't have anything just yet as far as any presser.
We begin tonight with a mother and son facing murder charges as a grieving family demands answers about the death of a teenage girl. Good evening. I'm Mike Duffy.
And I'm Carolyn Clifford. The case of London Thomas is one that has gripped our entire community. Her body was found in April, 3 weeks after she was reported missing in Inkster.
7 News Detroit reporter Brett Cast is raising the voice of the...
I got about multiple things going on. Okay, here we go. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you for hanging out. I am going to go ahead and close this room down. We'll be over there in the Edric Foss trial until we start our Wife in the Tank trial later today. All right.